Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a text that's hundreds of years old, yet it's chanted millions of times every single day by people seeking courage and strength. We're going to explore the Hanuman Chalisa, the 40 verses of power.
But first, let me ask you something. What if a short poem, just 40 verses, written way back in the 16th century, actually held the key to overcoming your deepest fears and unlocking a kind of personal strength you didn't even know you had? Well, that is the incredible promise at the very heart of the Hanuman Chalisa.
So, what exactly is this powerful hymn? To really get what it's all about, we've got to understand where it came from and how it's put together. Okay, so the Hanuman Chalisa is basically a devotional hymn. It's made up of 40 quatrains. These are four-line verses that are called chopais in the original language. It was written by the legendary poet saint Tulsi Das, and it's all about one figure, Lord Hanuman, who is seen as the ultimate symbol of strength, devotion, and just pure, selfless service. And you really can't get the hymn without getting to know its hero. So let's take a closer look at the big guy himself, Lord Hanuman. What's so cool is how the poem itself introduces him through all these amazing titles. For instance, it calls him Gyan Gun Sagar, which means the ocean of wisdom and virtue. He's also Ram Dut, the incredibly loyal messenger of Lord Rama. He's the embodiment of power as Atalat Baladama, the abode of unmatched strength. And maybe most importantly for anyone who recites this, he's known as Sankat Mochan, the remover of all difficulties. You can see how each name reveals another layer of who he is. And trust me, he earned every single one of those titles through some truly epic deeds. The Chalisa isn't just a list of praises, it's more like a highlight reel of his most legendary moments. For example, one verse tells us he took a tiny form to appear before Sita. So the backstory here is that Lord Rama's wife Sita had been captured. To find her without alerting her guards, Hanuman showed this incredible mix of intelligence and humility by shrinking himself down to a super tiny size. But, and this is a huge but, don't mistake that humility for weakness, because the very next part of the story flips the script. He then assumed a terrifying form to burn Lanka. After his enemies tried to humiliate him by setting his tail on fire, he grew to this monstrous size and literally leapt across the entire city, setting the capital of the Demon King ablaze. It's this perfect illustration of his two sides, gentle and humble one minute, and absolute powerhouse the next. And his power was only ever matched by his devotion. You see, when Rama's brother, Lakshmana, was struck down in battle, Hanuman was the only one who could save him. He had to fly to a mountain in the Himalayas to get a specific life-saving herb. But when he got there, he couldn't figure out which herb it was. So what did he do? He just lifted the entire mountain and flew back with it before sunrise. An incredible act that saved Lakshmana's life. And this kind of mind-boggling power, it was there from day one. The Chalisa tells this story from when he was just a kid, where he saw the sun in the sky, thought it was a giant sweet fruit, and leaped thousands of miles into space to try and eat it. So the key takeaway here is that his power is just on another level. It's cosmic. Okay, so these are incredible stories, right? A mythical hero doing impossible things. But what on earth does that have to do with us today? Well, this gets us to the core belief behind the hymn. It's not just about hearing a story. It's about tapping into that very same power in your own life. This is exactly why millions of people still recite it. The Chalisa makes some pretty specific promises for life's biggest challenges. For what it calls put pishak, which you can think of as fear, negative energy, or evil spirits, it promises protection. For sickness and pain, or rogue, it promises healing. And for any kind of crisis or trouble, known as sankat, it promises you'll be set free. And it all kind of boils down to this one super powerful verse. It says that with Hanuman's grace, any difficult task in the whole world becomes easy. That's the central idea right there. The belief is that by chanting these verses and focusing on his qualities, you can actually tap into that strength to face your own challenges. So, that brings up a pretty big question. Why has this poem from the 16th century stuck around for so long? Why is it still such a vital spiritual tool for so many people? Well, funnily enough, the text itself kind of gives us the answer. It says that Hanuman's glory is celebrated in all four yugas, which are these vast cosmic ages in Hindu thought. The whole point is that his power isn't stuck in the past. It's not confined to one story or one time period.
It's seen as timeless and available to everyone, everywhere, which is a big reason why it still connects so deeply with people today.
And so we end with the closing lines, which just perfectly capture everything he represents. O son of the wind, remover of calamities, embodiment of blessings. It leaves us with this final thought, that these 40 verses are way more than just a story about a hero. They're a prayer for finding the hero inside all of us.